Oh, we're live already.
No, yeah. Let's go live.
Well, mine says scheduled for 7:30 a.m. Maybe I can just turn it on now, or will it turn on automatically? Oh, there
I
it is.
I already turned it. Yes, you can
Okay.
turn it also.
I think we're. Looks like it's on.
Nice.
Okay, great. Let's
Yes,
do it.
nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you too.
You know,
I love talking to people who randomly message me on Twitter.
yeah, most of people who randomly message you anywhere are, just, average bots probably. But some of them can be, something really interesting, and I assume that we are doing something. You are doing something. You are doing you are speculating and in a long term. In my opinion, you are speculating in a long term.
My saying is I hold for 5 years for 10x gains.
Yeah, of course, of
And
course.
my main thesis that I say all the time, and this is why I started debating with you, was long-term holding always beats the traders. And that being said, one caveat is that when we have these huge bubbles, like we had 8 months to de-risk and sell some in 2021, and we had 8 months to buy in June of 2022, starting in June of 2022 for 8 months. So there is some, that's the rebalancing that we talked about a little bit in Twitter. So there's a little trading, but the one thing I like to talk about is you don't need charts. In fact, charts hurt. And if you're trading more than every few years, it's too much. I understand that some traders can make money, but I'm sure that I have destroyed all of them.
Yeah, all right. With Bitcoin, probably. Yeah.
No,
When you hold Bitcoin, yes.
Ethereum beat Bitcoin by
Ethereum,
300%.
yeah. If you're Bitcoin and Ethereum, but most of the altcoins, if you, for example, hold for a long term, you will end with nothing after.
And if you hold them for short term, you will also make less than me.
Probably yes.
Always. Show me somebody. I've been saying this forever. Whoever you are and you think it's not true, look at how much, it's got to be more than 2 or 3 years of all your trading shenanigans. Look at how much you had a few years ago. And then look at the price of ETH. Imagine all that money was in ETH. And look where you are a few years later. Now, if it was in 2021, you could look at my videos. I kept saying we need to de-risk. You need to get into stable coins in 2021. So even without my selling in 2021, I still beat the traders.
Into 2021, you were selling before the dump from 55,000.
Yes. Well, I have a tweet from February 2021 where I said, no one listened to me when I said to buy in 2019. And I said, and no one will listen to me when I tell you to dollar cost average sell ETH over 3,000. And it crossed that around whatever it was, April. And we had 8 months to sell ETH over 3,000, which I did. And then in June of 2022, I said, I thought 1,500 was a good number. I started in May actually, but we had 8 months after June to buy ETH under 1,500. I have tweets, I have videos. That's my only trading. In 2021, I said stable coins are the number one investment.
You are trading ETH only. And BTC, what about BTC?
No, I have a portfolio of some. I do a video every once in a while, portfolio update. Yeah. My basic recommendation is, let's say, at least 50% ETH. If you want to hold 90 or 100%, I'm fine with that. Bitcoin, people want to hold more, it's fine. I have 10% Bitcoin now just because I am supporting the team. And it's possible if BlackRock ETF goes online, it could outperform ETH for a year or something. It's possible. And I want to be on team crypto. I think it's important. Bitcoin's sort of a political symbol. Other than that, I have a few solid, I like I'm trying to think off the top of my head here, Matic. And I got to look at my portfolio.
Do you think Matic right now is reasonable? Right now?
Yeah, we're toward the end of, I think, the boring low. I look at the crypto cycle as you got the boom, right? The bust, and then the boring low. And we're at the tail end of the boring low. However, the boring low can end with a 50% drop. I mean, we could see everything plummet one more time. Maybe not, but it's possible. So get it, always dollar cost average getting in, right, over time. Anyways, that all being said, we're in the boring low. This is when you want to accumulate. So yeah, I mean, everything we're gonna have another 10x run. I'm, you know, why wouldn't
Yeah,
we?
I believe too, especially
So you need to
what
get
you
in
said
before
earlier.
that, and you don't want to get in when everybody else, even whatever. You can miss the first couple 100% by waiting till it's going up. Everyone wants it to go up tomorrow. Like I said, when I was buying in, well, in like whatever it was, August of 2022, whatever, summer of 22, some of those months when ETH was at 1,000, people were like, well, it's going to go down more, maybe. Oh, it's not going to go up tomorrow. Okay. But I got in at a good price and I'm ready to wait my 5 years. So
Why 5 years? Why not 10 years or 2 years? Why
I'm
five
not
years?
smart enough. Bezos waits 10 years. You can use, how far can you see? I'm 55, and I now feel like I can see 5 years in things. I can't see further than that. And also 10 years is a long time. And I'm not saying I won't hold ETH for a long, like if I get there and I see another 5 years, I'll keep holding. The best
Mhm.
gains are from those long-term winners. They just keep winning and winning and winning, and you just sit in it. Um, but I can only see also the next cycle. Like last cycle in 2019, I was screaming about DeFi. Everyone's like, oh, nothing happens on ETH. And DeFi was at, there was like 1 billion in smart contracts. I'm like, this is a thing. This is big. And I saw that was going to be that DeFi on ETH was going to be the next run. And now I see what the next bubble is going to be. L2s on ETH, staked ETH. And we'll see what I think some apps, and then there'll be some crazy, whatever, some apps, whether it's in who knows where. And I hold some of my favorites. But that's the next run, and maybe Bitcoin has a run, and then there'll always be shit coins and scams that make money for 8 months. But I don't playing that game is impossible. It's like I fought with the Hex people, Hex,
Mhm.
all that stupid coin. It's just a stupid thing. It really did well in the last bubble, yet it outperformed ETH, certainly going up in the last bubble. And I still made more money than all of them because they're all with their stupid trading and buying more at the top.
Yeah, most of the traders are losing. It's obvious, yes, because of first because of the fees on exchanges. And if a trader is, I'm not touching futures market at all. Because why? Because the futures market is the best tool for making money, but not for traders, but for exchanges, to be honest. So and why? So because when somebody is trading on futures, there is so high emotions, and these high emotions are making lot positions, much more positions, much more trades than in normal situation. And because of the trades, because of you are doing not one trade per month or one trade per year, but you are doing 7 trades per week or 7 trades per day, exchange is earning much more money on such traders. That's why I'm not touching futures at all. And yeah, for most of the traders, most of the people don't calculate this cost of the fees. And this is basically why trading isn't profitable for traders, because they have to pay. Every time they trade, they have to pay. Every time, every single time.
I think it's more than just the fees, though. I think it's also, first of all, when it's going up, traders are always excited because they got in, it went up, and then they sold it, and then it goes up a little more. They miss it, but they get back in, and then it goes up. and they don't make as much as me just holding it when it's going up because it keeps going up. And you miss one day, you just have those days. It went up 20% today, and the traders, they'll miss one. So they lose on the way up by trading. And then the problem is, it's sort of human nature. Just on the way down, they're always. Problem with the traders too is they're following charts and they get caught up in the emotion of the whole thing, and so they buy at the top and they don't sell until it's late, and then they're selling at the bottom. It's emotional, it's psychological, and you get caught up in it, and it's lifestyle. I'm at the beach making more money, and someone else is 2 a.m. looking at their phone saying, shit, I got to get out of bed because this candle crossed the other.
Yeah, of course, it's stupid.
The Fibonacci crossed the whatever,
If you are trading only on a chart, only based on a chart, it's, in my opinion, ineffective, totally ineffective. Because people are used to watch charts, and charts are talking not about things which are happening right now, but charts are talking about things which happened previously. So if a price is dumping, if a price is pumping, it's already done. It's too late. What we need, in my opinion, what is important to get data before the action, before the price action. For example, lastly was a situation with Ripple, of course, yes. Did with Ripple, with XRP?
Yeah.
And win with SEC, with Security and Exchange Commission.
Oh yeah, I'm well aware of the Ripple decision.
Have you trade on this or speculate on this before the pump?
XRP is XRP is a shit coin.
Yeah, for me too. For me too. They have over 13% inflation.
Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't buy shit coins, and you get it went up 70% that day. Yeah. I don't know where it is today, but 70%. I'm going for 10x gains, and so trying to catch the one moment and then it goes up 70% and you're out. It's just like I'm not playing that game. And like I said, what do you want? What are you saying about that?
All right, yeah, it's all right for me because you are doing a wise decision in my opinion, and you are not touching things which you just don't believe, and this is your strategy, and I appreciate it. In my opinion, if I see there is ineffectiveness in the market, and there is in a cryptocurrency market a lot of ineffectiveness, I perceive this as a potential. And what do I mean by ineffectiveness? It's when I can get info and I can get news, I can get tweet before the market, before the price reaction, before everybody else, not looking at the chart. I'm not interested in looking at the charts. What I'm interested is in looking at data which may impact the price. And last few years, when I'm in the market since 3K for BTC, I was willing to buy it for 1K. I bought it for 3K. And through all this time, there was few moments when I noticed something important for me. I'm trading mostly on BTC, and I'm holding mostly of BTC, not holding shitcoins, not even much ETH, a little, according to BTC, but most of BTC, because I believe this will be much more powerful even than ETH in a long term. And because of its capitalization, because of how big it is right now and how decentralized it is right now. And there was this many moments in Bitcoin history when there was some news, and that news was given as clear message that something will happen. Of course, if we understand how the market is reacting. And it was many times before. For example, there was a famous tweet from Elon Musk and Tesla, I believe, and they tweeted. It was right here. Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla is stopping accepting Bitcoin. Do you remember this?
Yes. And what date is that?
Oh, May of
Yeah,
21.
let's take a look at precisely at 4-hour interval. It was right here, right before the dump. Right before the dump, and believe me or not, but I didn't get out from the market after the tweet. I get out from the market before the tweet happened. I get out from the market probably once day before the tweet, and this is also visible on our channels or on our Telegram channels in history. Why I got out from the market one day before the tweet from Elon Musk, and it was, in my opinion, probably a coincidence or maybe not. But one day before the Elon Musk tweeted, there was a big inflow of Bitcoins into exchanges. Just one day before Elon Musk tweeted. And because of that, me and my team and all our friends got out from the market before he tweeted this. And the tweet is it's here, but it was probably somewhere here. So after the increase, and increase is right here. So we sold all our holdings, just before the tweet, and then the tweet occurs. Of course, the market started to sell in after a tweet. This is a supply and demand, yeah. So if the assets are coming into an exchange, I don't care it's a BTC or it's a exchange of any other asset, but if there is a bigger supply of an asset into exchange, it's most of the time it tells us something.
Okay, well, a couple points here. So first of all, like with XRP, you didn't have news ahead of time, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you could.
well, let me tell you my example of news.
To be honest, I didn't catch the XRP. I got.
Well, how do you know? I mean, if you have inside information is different. I once had one time I had a trader actually contact me, and he's like, "Oh, I do beat you, this and that." And I said, "Really?" And I found out he tapped into this thing back in the day with Coinbase, and he knew when coins were going to be listed ahead of time, and he'd buy it before they announced, and he had a whole insider trading, inside information
to be
thing.
honest,
Like, okay, that's fine.
Insider information every time since over
What?
1 year.
What's that?
Insider info about listings.
Yeah, if you have inside info that no one knows about, that's another thing. But that's whatever. That's
But
not.
I'm using it in a legal way, of course.
Well, if it's legal, then other people have it, and I don't. It's not inside info. So, but my type of info. So I just had Matic, right? This is maybe a month ago. Well, it was 2 months ago. Whatever. It hit $56 because Golem Gensler said it's a security, and then they were getting rid of it on Robinhood. It hit 56 cents, and I wanted more anyways, and it was down like 50% from its recent highs. Now, I don't need to look at charts, but okay. I mean, but you can glance if the only charts is look at like a 3-year chart and look at it for 10 seconds. But you can see it had come down a lot. I wanted to buy it. Everything is awesome with it. And people are getting out of it for a stupid reason. So I bought it. I doubled the size of my position when it was at literally below 60 cents. Now it's at 80. I mean, okay. And these things happen, but sometimes I get into things and it's not moving right away. But regarding Bitcoin also, when the central bank said we're going to start tightening, we're going to start raising rates in February of 21, that means it's time to reduce risk.
Of course.
And also, I also have a video from, oh boy, it was 2019, April 2019. I made a video, I think it's on the front of my channel, where Bitcoin, I said the bear market is over. I mean, the boring low is over. The bull has begun. I said Bitcoin will go over 50,000. this is in 2019. I said, when it goes over 50,000, that's when all the morons are coming, and it's going to be time to start looking at de-risking then. And like a bell, as soon as it crossed 50,000 in February of 2021, that's when I said, let's start de-risking. So I was already, started selling, before your May. I mean, and this is part of the problem that I'm concerned with you is when you say, I saw this information, I sold it, and then the next day, as if the next day is better than a month ahead or 2 months or 3 months or even 6.
I understand what you're saying.
And that's what traps all the young kids who have this short-term mindset and this idea. And I get a little emotional because I lost money and I used to be stupider than most of these people when it comes to investing.
But when I hear what you are talking about, it's wise in my opinion. But I feel that you may trade, we can say it, by your subjective perspective, that something will happen, because 50,
no, I have
50,000, 60,000 isn't a subjective perspective.
Well, no. So there's two things. First of all, those levels are, again, it's this 10x thing. And I have a great book I recommend all the time. It's called Millionaire. It's about the first bubble in France. When France, it is in the 1700s, they were speculating on Louisiana investing in America, and it was a bubble. And you read it, and it's the same shit. Poor people all of a sudden have a horse and carriage with whatever gold hanging on it. That instead of a Lamborghini, they would get the horse and carriage. And I listened to the numbers and how long it's the same shit. Everything goes up, and it's a bubble, and it goes up 10x. So my number is always 10x from the last boring low.
Yeah, all right.
But, so Bitcoin's previous boring low was around 6,000. So I was expecting 60. Right, okay. The media loves a rounder number like 50. This boring low, ETH at like 1,500. So ETH is going to cross 10,000. Once ETH crosses 10,000.
But what about 2015 and 2017 when Bitcoin?
Same thing. So I was watching. So I got interested in Bitcoin 2014.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I'm old. I knew enough not to get in when it went from 100 to 1,000 in like 2 months. But I said, okay, I'll wait for it to fall. Once it got below 500, I started dollar cost averaging in. My average cost was, it was about $350. And that's like 2015. And I waited for a year, right? And the boring low then was in the 200s. And so then that would have told you at 2,000 start dollar cost average selling, which was, so how many months? It was probably, when did it hit 2,000 on that chart there?
You mean 2,000?
Yeah. When did it hit $2,000?
$2,000, it was, somewhere here.
Okay. What month is that?
June. And
okay, so then you had 6 months. If you sold Bitcoin every month for 6 or the same 8 months, you would have been selling at, one of those months you would have sold in December. Yeah. Maybe you would have got the 18,000. And so that's I look at the 10x. And there was another thing with the timing. Oh, the other thing is when I bought Matic. Yeah, of course. One other point about Matic. Why did I pick Matic? Was it just it was down? So I also you should have if you only own Bitcoin, fine. But even if you only own Bitcoin, you have other things. What percent of your net worth is crypto or Bitcoin, or what percent of your crypto portfolio? So I have had a target. I've been talking about this on my channel. Matic, I want to be 10% of my crypto portfolio. And it was at 5%. So I want more, but I'm not going to chase it when it's going higher. And if I have 5, it is whatever. But when the price falls 50%, and also I got a little scared about Aave with that whole curve risk that exists. And I was like, I want to reduce my Aave risk. And so then I got the Matic because my portfolio, it's really about managing risk. It's the same thing with selling in 2021. I thought ETH would go to 10,000 possibly. Like, I wasn't like, oh, it's going to go down tomorrow. It was just my net worth is now so much ETH. A thing that just went up 1,000% is most of my net worth. That's not proper risk management.
Yeah, of course.
So that tells you to sell. So I'm managing risk and working within the cycle of getting out when everyone's fighting to get in, and vice versa.
Yeah, everybody wants to do this, and of course it's nice what you are talking about. And I'm curious, what do you think about current situation? We are stopping to increasing interest rates in US, and inflation, it's going lower and lower, and right now it's almost 2%, it's 3%. And probably the next meeting to 26 will be increased of 25 basis points, or maybe not even 25 basis points. But we are going to the point of 2% of inflation. Yeah. So
no, I don't think so.
What do you think?
What someone I listen to who's been right on this a lot is this guy, Jim Bianco. And one of his points, and I love listening to him, Jim Bianco. Anyways, so inflation, part of the inflation, right, is how much it's gone up over the past year. So you have the comparison effect. Inflation was at its highest a year ago from June. It was and then it came down. So the comparison effect goes away. And so one thing he argues, and there's also a lot of structural issues. I don't want to go into all of the reasons, but my base case guess here is that inflation coming down has bottomed right now. And now it's going to stay flat to heading up. So we're at 3%. That's going to be the low. We may bounce at 3, but I think we start ticking up. Unless there's a big crash.
You don't think that we will go to the 2 point?
Go to what?
To the 2 points of inflation.
No, unless there's a complete crash, like the economy, like something completely blows up and everything freezes up, and then we have like a real, everything freezes and then everything prices drop. But assuming things keep moving, we have some structural inflation. We don't have the cheap products from China, right? For many reasons, between their wages going up and us trying to get the hell out of there and trying to bring stuff on shore. We have, if we grow at all, we have an energy shortage. Oil's doing okay because the economy's been slowing. And maybe it continues to slow, but this, it's a new world after 2021 and we haven't adjusted. And also the central bank is continuing to print. I mean, they raise interest rates, which hurts companies and maybe their ability to produce goods, but they are printing money for the banks and giving it to people. So there still is that liquidity. And listen, I don't like to get into the predicting inflation game. That is the hardest thing in the world to do. But I think the other thing is I pay attention to bubble structure. Like bubbles operate in a certain way. And the US Treasury bubble is a clear, like that thing, 40-year, and it popped. In 2020, my understanding of bubbles is to pay attention and listen. Patterns repeat until you recognize them half the time, and then it doesn't repeat again. And so I'm not putting all my money in me predicting. And again, looking at a 40-year chart, and I'm not using charts, but at the same time, you got to respect the fact that a bubble at 0% interest rates is insane. And if you look at that correction, I don't think we're going back at all. And never mind at 2%. And so I think rates going up, and part of that is inflation, and the government is printing more and more money. It's sort of spiraling. I don't know if you ever listened to Balaji. he's, Balaji, he talks about how every
Yeah.
time when the
From
government's in
Coinbase, yes.
trouble, they print money to bail themselves out and buy another 5 to 7 years, kick the can down the road. His argument, which is possible, we know this can't go on forever. He thinks this is it. This is the one that they're not going to be able to print their way out of. And we're going to have a whole devaluation, and it's a fucking mess. We'll see. But the consensus or the old school and the common pattern is, okay, inflation just comes back to 2% where it's been for the last 20 years. Problem solved. And they're not
I also believe that,
trillions
that
of dollars.
inflation will be higher.
What's that?
I also believe that inflation will be higher. I'm only curious. What do you think about? Because you told me that 2% isn't possible, and probably maybe very center, yeah, because US will be printing a lot of money this year, and but previously, for example, the moments in the past when inflation stopped going down and started going up again. And most of the times for Dow Jones, for example, it was the moments right here. It was the moments of pullbacks for indexes.
Hold on. What is this chart? What are we looking at here? I don't know
Yeah,
what this
basically,
chart is.
I will turn off this interest rates. Maybe I will just delete it. All right. So down below on the pink is Dow Jones Industrial, and above on the yellow is US interest rates. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We are looking off on inflation, yeah. And down below there is inflation.
Wait a second. I'm looking at. I don't think I'm seeing the same thing. I'm looking at it. It looks like Matic BTC price.
All right. Oh, really? All right. Okay. So I'm
Look at that. It looks like I nailed the
starting
low.
to showing you the chart again. One second, please. It's here. All right. Now you can see. Yes.
Okay. So what do we look? The interest rate is
We are looking at
yellow.
the blue one, because blue one is inflation. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And
And
what year are we starting at there? What?
yeah, historically it's 70s.
Oh, that goes to the 70s. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
down below is Dow Jones. Yes. And the gray area, there are moments when inflation from the peak was falling down to the bottom, and moments that the gray area is ending are the moments that inflation is starting to go in higher again.
can you show the current? It looks on the far right. That doesn't look current. Can you make it on the far right to 2020? There you go.
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
can we see the current plus the above? There you go. Okay.
Yeah, this is current above, and here is Dow Jones. So what do I mean? What do I suggest is that most of the times I look at the Dow Jones when inflation was going to its bottom. The Dow Jones has its pullbacks right here, most of the moments.
Yeah.
And what is my question right now? Do you believe that the moment of the lowest point of inflation in US again will be the moment of pullback for Dow Jones? And do you believe that it will be moment of pullback also on Bitcoin?
First of all, I again, my point is never look for moments. Look for years, right?
Yeah, it's basically,
And 2020, 21 was not a moment. 2021 was a year to de-risk. 2022 or half it late of 2022, the beginning of 2023 was a time to accumulate. So where are we now? We're in 2023. Hopefully you've accumulated, or we're still accumulating crypto, until it starts, and when Bitcoin crosses, 150,000, I hope you're done buying, right? By then. I better if you get in early. That's the moment. But I don't like moments. That's, hopefully you're done by then. I mean, so if your question is this the moment? I don't know. The market can be irrational for longer than you can be liquid. And Predicting moments is very hard. I mean, so with that phrasing, what is your question? Like, if your question is, how should you be positioned now, for the next couple years, that I can answer. But as far as what's going to happen in this moment, I don't know, because we could have a moment, inflation surprises on the upside, or the next banks fail, or there can be a moment, some numbers come out, and you have these moments either that could shoot things up and then it corrects, or it goes down and then it goes up and whatever. But I don't get into moments.
Yeah, on the larger scale, maybe not a moment, but a year.
Long term, I think the U.S. Treasury was considered, that's the base layer of the financial system, the riskless asset, right? The safest thing, safest long-term reserve asset. I believe that is going to be disrupted. The bubble has broken. It got wrecked last year. And I think over the next several years, U.S. Treasuries underperform because they're going to lose to inflation and they're not going to do that well. And your better long-term asset is Ethereum. I think beats a Bitcoin, whatever. That debate's another topic, but and quality cryptos will outperform treasuries. The stock market, there are stocks that will do great, as there are in any time. There's some
What
that are
do you
great.
believe are quality cryptos?
Crypto?
Yeah, what do you believe
Let me open my
the quality
portfolio, because for
crypto is
whatever reason,
besides the ETH?
I've been traveling for the past month. It's like I can't even remember what's in my portfolio. Okay, so of course my ETH. I've got 10% is a Matic.
Mm-hmm.
Then a bunch of tokens so if I think my ETH, I don't know if I'm at 60 or 70. Well, let's say 60% ETH, 10% Bitcoin, 10% Matic. That brings us to 80%. The remaining 20%, I like Link, Chainlink, Uniswap, Graph, Frax, Aave. I think that's it. Now, I got out of Maker and Aave because I got a little scared in this crash for some major problems, which is still possible.
So,
but I like them, but I'm not in Maker Aave right now,
okay.
and they're going up.
So I assume that you hold a little portion of that crypto, yeah, besides ETH and Matic.
Well, what I recommend is also what I try to do. I mean, I hold 60% of my crypto portfolio is 60% ETH, 10% BTC, 10% Matic, and the remaining 20% in a mix of all those other tokens. That's what I hold.
So I have a question right now.
Yeah.
Because if you have these coins, how do you perceive that you are holding them? How do you make the decision to hold them or to sell them?
Well, I have an overall portfolio.
If you already have them, yeah. So when are you going to sell them? Are you looking at, for example, charts, or are you looking at their Twitter, their news?
Now, once ETH crosses 10,000, you check my channel, and I'll tell you where I'm at. It depends. If it crosses 10,000 and everybody is not, that to me, then it's going to be in the news. I'm going to probably make my video, start planning your exit strategy once ETH crosses 10,000. And I feel like the 10x really is 15,000, and we'll see. But 10 is this round number that the media loves. So we'll see. But that's when, at that point, it's up about 10. And once it starts going there, it crosses 10 and is moving. When you're selling in the bull, again, dollar cost averaging. So I have this much, and I'm going to sell this much each month. Well, I sell this much, and the next day it goes up that much. And now I even have more than before I sold it, right? So that That's my metric. I mean, other than, listen, who
It's
knows?
only if is your metric, yeah?
What's that?
Only if Ethereum price
Yeah.
is your metric, yes? I assume.
Well, that's like the bellwether. I used to do that with Bitcoin, right? In the last bubble, my or in the past I would do it with Bitcoin because I watched it more. Regarding Bitcoin, your thing, it has the highest market cap, but every other metric it loses to Bitcoin, whether it's
Of course.
transaction speed, security, and I believe Ethereum is better digital gold. So I think ETH overtakes the flippening. I think cometh eventually, but and the other thing is I'm watching metrics on usage. Like if something, I like this L2 beat, if you ever seen that, where it's showing the growth of transactions on Ethereum, that the Ethereum has this amount of transactions, it's steady, but on the layer twos, it's going like this. And I'll check that every month. As long as it's going like this, I'm happy, right? Uniswap, I look at it, it has 80% 70% market share. I check every few weeks. I don't know, still 80% market share. Yeah, great. Okay. So I'll hold that. And again, Matic has so much going on. I want to pick the leaders, right? Aave's the largest borrowing and lending. So, okay. I like that. If they lose their leadership or I see someone gaining fast and it looks like they could pass within a year, I would, take note on that as well. So I watch usage,
All right.
adoption
Nice.
statistics,
I like
user.
it. I like it. You are talking wisely, but I have another question because we were talking on Twitter, yeah, and we were some kind of arguing. It wasn't an arguing
I'm
in my
very
opinion, but
annoying. Yes. I
we
called
were
you a scammer
discussing. Yeah, we were
immediately.
discussing. So my question is because I wrote you with an idea to follow Twitter in a real time. Yeah, I wrote you that we are building an application to use big Twitter API for businesses to follow big events in real time. And why I tweet why for me it's important in my opinion is because there are plenty of good projects which have bad moments, and it may happen for every project in my opinion, but there is some really nice project which we believe in, Matic, Helium, or many other projects, where somebody just believing in that, but suddenly there are, for example, things like the listings, or the listing is a little thing, but much worse thing is that there is a project which is hacked or attacked, and probably few times in a year there are situations when some projects are attacked or hacked, and just after hacks or attacks, the price of such products is going down massively. Right here, for example, Alliance blockchain was hacked and it fell down in 2 days 92%, or plenty of other projects. So my question is, because do you watch the projects? Do you observe their Twitter? Do you follow their Twitter in real time? Because when some project is been hacked or there's an exploit on some blockchain, the price is going down massively rapidly. So do you believe that this is valuable for people to watch such info, to be aware of such events?
Well, so this is an important question. Might be a little bigger than what you're asking. Is how do you get your information? Very important. What I do, and this has worked so good for me, is Twitter. But what I do is I follow, I do a lot of research on who I follow. My metric is are they builders? I don't like people that are just journalists and they talk. I like, you want to know what's going on Ethereum? Well, I don't know. The Vitalik Buterin talks, right? He created it. He's someone I listen to, right? the founder of Aave. I'll listen to him. Same thing on YouTube and podcasts. I only listen to the greatest and smartest people.
Yeah, and it's wise.
And I'm very slow. I only follow 60 people on Twitter, and I don't use the algorithm. I only follow what they say. And the same thing with podcasts. I have some people I listen to, and I only follow what they say. And when I say follow too, I'm listening to them. And sometimes someone I follow says there's going to be inflation, and someone else I follow says there's going to be deflation. Okay, but that's where I get my news. And as far as which tokens I follow, I've done my research on what I like. You mentioned I think I forgot to mention, I also have Chainlink. So I have my price, in my CoinGecko. I only have, like 10 tokens, and I look at the prices. If I open up my price thing one day, and I had this with Matic, and it was down like 30%, I don't even care. Well, I kind of care why. I mean, did something really happen? No, all the idiots on Robinhood were selling because Gensler said it was a security. So nothing has changed as far as what I care about, and the price is down 30%. So I buy it. I am watching. I'm watching mine. I see Link has gone up a lot lately. Okay, I'm not doing anything about it, but I know about it, and I know why it's going up. They launched a new thing, but I bought Chainlink over the last boring low because they have launched and done great for years. They're a leader in oracles. It's important. And they're like an awesome organization that does really well. So I said, okay, the price is, 90% off its highs. I buy some, I hold it, I wait. And oh my God, there's good news. It went up in price. Well, of course, that's what I expect.
What if they will be hacked?
Well, if it's a structural thing, it turns out that Chainlink software doesn't work, right? If there's a structural, my thesis is for all of these, they're leaders that work well and they have lots of users. If there is a short-term problem that really doesn't affect then and it's in the news and the price goes down, if I want more, then I would buy some, right? And sometimes the price goes up so much. I mean, that's sort of the bubble thing. I don't want to sell unless it's really up hundreds of percents, because that's what I'm going for these things. I own my house, not to get rich. It's like, because this is a savings, right? And I have stocks too. It's mostly, I think, defensively. When it comes to crypto, I'm in this business for my 10x gain. And so I mostly hold when it goes up, but I accumulate more on bad news. But I find the bad news for, I look at the prices and I'm like, oh, down 30% today. What's going on? But I usually know because of all the people that I follow. Like I said, there's probably only 30 people tweeting, but it's like the top people in crypto. And everyone's going to talk about it. It's going to be in the news. It's going to be, people are talking about it. By the way, Dave Levine 0com is my Twitter. If anyone wants to look at who I follow. Create like a separate little account. Only follow those people. I'm telling you, there's very little noise in that feed. And you don't start reading the entertainment news channel stupidness. Did I answer your question or just rant? And I don't even remember what you asked me.
Yeah, I believe that you understand what you are talking about, and you believe in long term. But really, I don't believe that you answered my question, because what I was asking wasn't about the ordinary events when some price is going down. What I was asking about big events like hacks, exploits, big exploits. And again, on my screen there is a moment of exploit on Alliance blockchain. And just after that, it collapsed and it never went.
What date? When was that?
I will go to the lower interval, and it was on February 2023, and they tweeted this when the dump started, but before the most of the dump, they tweeted this.
I had already, by February 2023, I was done selling. I had was like 50% stable coins.
Yeah, of course. But I'm not asking about strategy in the
Well,
past.
I'm saying
I'm asking
I
about
don't
frequent
do. I mean, I
usage.
guess the answer is I would see it in the news. I'm sure whatever that wanted, there was all kinds of hacks and problems. I see it, I read about it, but I don't know, and I don't even care that much. I mean, whether I knew about it, I don't know. Why would I care about that?
About hack of some altcoin. If you don't hold this altcoin, of course you don't care about it.
Right.
What about
And
if
that's
you
why
hold it?
I'm not holding
Yeah.
it. None of my stuff gets hacked.
What
I
about
don't have any.
Matic or Link?
What's that?
What about if the hacked crypto is Matic?
Well, again, look at it. Was it just a little thing, but we figured it out, and it's going to be, and we're like, shit. Things. Let me think
Things
of
happen.
something I've held and they've had an issue. I mean, well, maybe. I'm very careful about what I own. I can't even think of things that have gone wrong. But you could say years ago it was Ethereum, like, and they're going to do the fork. When they were launching the beacon chain, and it got delayed by it was like 8 months. It got delayed. It was going to be in March, and then it was in the summer. It finally went in October. And when they said, now it's going to be delayed, and the price went down, but I looked at it. Why is it being delayed? It's not because it's not going to happen, or they found shit they didn't know. It was just software is hard, and it seemed intelligent. And I was like, okay, I wish it launched earlier, but it looks fine to me. And part of my thesis is not that every project is going to launch everything exactly on time. So I don't do anything. But I don't get into stuff I don't like new either. Like Chainlink, I had people yelling at me, why don't you have Chainlink? Why don't you have Chainlink? And it was, the price was high. It was in the thing. And I used to not, but I waited. And then I was like, okay, I like it. And then when the price is down 90%, then I get in. But I don't, sometimes things launch and everyone's like, and not everyone, but people be like, this thing is awesome. You should get in. I'm like, well, we'll see in 6 months or a year. I wait to see something work, functioning, users. Give it a year or two. The thing is, what people don't, one thing I think a lot of people miss is in stocks, the IPO is a company usually who's been operating for Google had their IPO after they were operating for 7 years. Amazon, I don't know how many, they operate for 5+ years before they have the IPO when you can get in. Crypto projects might launch the token when they're in the seed department. They haven't even launched the thing yet. Imagine buying Google before it launched. Now, obviously, that one turned out well, but most things don't turn out well. And if you bought Google 4 years after it launched, because now you see that it's going well, you're still early. Like if you got Google at the IPO, that was still early, right? If whatever, look at the chart on the price. But if it was a token, you could have bought it 3 years before that, and you were still super early, and people are panicking to buy stuff before they even open the doors. And everyone loves to say, well, you're earlier so you can make more money. The problem is the reason Google is a winner is not because some magic. It's because they've been growing for how many, 30, whatever, 40 years, 30 years or something. You don't know that something's going to grow and be a leader for 30 years before it launched, even after a couple years. So I wait. I see that it's solid. I see that the risk is low. Everyone's looking at the upside, which I'd like the upside, but I also look at how far can this thing go down. That's why I'm not holding Aave and Maker right now, because I got a little scared that I saw a threat that it could really get hurt with this banking crisis. And that might not happen, and maybe the odds of that are 10%, but I don't like being in anything that can get wrecked.
You told me that you are following on Twitter only people who believe that they are posting valuable things, and this obviously is again a wise decision. and most people are following too many accounts, probably on YouTube or on Twitter. So there is a lot of garbage, and if you are following only the wisest ones, it's probably a very good strategy. But what if you will be able to get tweets from those people, but only not every tweet, but only if they are tweeting about something really important?
Well, who's judging that it's important? I mean, my point is these people are really smart, and I'm just gonna because I have so few people. It's not that hard to keep up. I mean, I see it's not it's there's not a lot of noise, but who or what algorithm is going to decide, like I follow Jim Bianco and he tweets about what's going on in the economy. Vitalik Buterin. Who's going to decide what he thinks it's important? That's why he's tweeting it. I mean, and I don't follow. There's some people who are smart and if they tweet a lot of nonsense or they tweet a lot of advertising. I even stopped following Stani from Aave. He is really smart. Every once in a while, I'll listen to him on podcasts. But he's always talking about the lens protocol, which is just too much noise for me. Or there's some brilliant people who run, they built their own protocol. And I mean, there may be the founder of whatever protocol, and they're always just pumping their back. They're always talking about their project, and we just did this today, and we did that today, and we did. That's too much noise. So I don't follow people who have noise, and so I mean, I don't know that answers your question, which is I don't feel like that's a problem, and I would be more worried about a filter. I don't trust any of these algorithms out there. They all have their own interest to try to give me the information that they think is better.
But if the algorithm is set up by you.
Well, I have set up my algorithm. I'm only following these people. That's my algorithm. I can't. How would you make that better?
Basically, you can. For example, Elon Musk is often talking about things which are impactful on the market, but most of the times he's just tweeting about some stuff, maybe Starlink or Tesla, things which may not be impactful for you. Basically, for example, you are investing in cryptocurrency, yeah, so you are interested mostly in impact on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And for example, most of the tweets from Elon Musk won't impact cryptocurrencies, but some of them yes, but most of them no. And for example,
so how would you filter? I mean, I do follow Elon, and if he says,
yeah, if he says,
I don't know that I want to filter anything he says. He's my sort of, I like listening. But to your point, there could be some people that are good to follow, but they do have a lot of noise. And to your point, applying some sort of filter to them, how would you do that?
Yeah, you can do it on a few ways. First way is that you are focusing on words and, for example, tickers, tokens, names, and words which are connected to a cryptocurrency space. For example, Bitcoin mining and every ticker of each coin in the cryptocurrency market, every name of each coin in the cryptocurrency market. This is the first way of filtering the tweets. So, for example, we may create a filter to receive only tweets from Elon Musk, but only when he will post a tweet with a ticker of any crypto or a word connected to a cryptocurrency word. This is the first thing. This is the first kind of filtering. Another kind of filtering is that we can, for example, ask artificial intelligence GPT models to decide. And we can just create a prompt and ask it, decide in a scale 1 to 10 whether this tweet is impactful for a cryptocurrency market or not. And 1 is not impactful at all, and 10 is impactful, extremely impactful. So this is second way to filter it. Of course, you have to trust GPT. Yeah? Another way to filter it is that you can create your own prompt in GPT, and you can basically describe what you want to receive, what kind of tweets you want to receive, you wish to receive, and what kind of tweets you don't wish to receive. Basically, you can describe it just writing it. And again, you need to trust artificial intelligence. You need to trust GPT models. But as you can see, for example, here is an example of this. So as I told at the beginning, the first way to filter the tweets is to just categorize a whole group of words. For example, here is the group which is called top 100 biggest companies. So what are top 100 biggest companies? So I will show you predefined groups, top 100 biggest companies, and as it's saying, these are just top 100 biggest companies: Coca-Cola, Nike, MasterCard, etc. So this is the first level of filtration. If there will be a crypto project from a Twitter space, from the top 50, for example, biggest crypto projects, and they will include in their tweet a name of at least one of these their biggest companies, you may receive only such a tweet. So you don't need to follow the whole top 50 projects in a crypto space, because there will be too much garbage. But you can create a rule right here, and you can decide that you want to get only tweets which are which included these words. Next, for example, as second one, I was talking about the GPT filters and sentiment. So you can decide to receive only positive, negative, or extremely negative or extremely positive tweets. And this is, again, you need to trust GPT. Sometimes it's making mistakes, as everybody. It's artificial intelligence. It's in the beginning, but it is useful. And the third way to filter the tweets is to just describe. I want to receive. What do you want to receive? So here is a description. I want to receive an official announcement of cooperation, partnership, or collaboration. And again, GPT in real time is analyzing if such tweet is about this or not. For example, hacks, problems. Again, here is a description. I want to receive an announcement of hack, exploit, attack, problem, etc. I do not want to receive content about hackathons and developer events, because there are plenty of such events. And again, if, for example, for me, if I hold some cryptos, I don't hold cryptos right now. Again, I hold only BTC, but sometimes there are moments that I hold some cryptos. So for me, this is really important to get notifications about, for example, hacks. But I don't want to follow this project because they are tweeting all the time, tens of new tweets per day, and there will be, for me, it will be ineffective. So that's why I created this system with maxdata, and I'm using it, and I believe this is saving my time, because I do not need to screen a Twitter every second. Basically, I'm using Twitter API and API of artificial intelligence, OpenAI GPT, and I believe this is valuable because I'm not wasting my time on screening social media. By the way, why social media? Why Twitter is not giving such filtering method?
Okay, so let me. I'm gonna compliment you, and then I'm gonna tell you where I disagree. So, first of all, and for my followers who follow, I'm always criticizing the short-term trader and people who get, and it's a lot of the things that you may associate with Julian here, but give you props. You're working on a business. you're reaching out to people, you're willing to talk, you've actually built this software, seem to have good intentions. Um, you're, congrats to you. I mean, we all, even if I disagree and I'm right, or even if this is like, I'm going to talk about what I don't like about it. And even if I'm right, well, hey, we're all wrong about things at some point. We learn, and that's how we grow and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
of course.
I appreciate everything you're trying to do here and have me on the show and all that. And I wanted to say that before I criticize some things in this program because, whatever. I used to run a business and we launched many things that either sucked or
So
nobody wanted it.
basically, in my opinion, this is not a business first place. First place is a tool to protect my capital.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and
Second,
you think
business.
it works for you. And okay. So here's the problems with it. First is, you know, my the way I look at gathering information is I don't want to control it because I don't know and I don't know what I don't know. So I want to hear, I choose people like, why do I think Elon's smart? Well, he built all these things. He has a skill. I can't do that. I mean, people with just opinions and writers, like, well, I can write shit and I know how to get traffic. And often that's by saying stupid stuff. So my metric is have they built, which is hard and you have to move atoms around. So I have my metric of who to follow. And then my thing is just listen to them. Someone once said to me, well, you probably only follow people you agree with. No, I only follow people that I think are really smart. And when they say something I disagree with, then I am like, oh, I have to reconcile. Either I'm disagreeing with this person who's smarter than me, and so the point is, so you have a filter. Oh, I want to know about hacks. Well, you want to know about hacks? Who are you to care about facts? Like hacks. In other words, I may say, oh, I need to know about hacks. Well, who am I? I'm a fucking idiot. What do I? But if all these smart people I follow today are talking about this hack, then I will pay attention to it because they think it's important. Or there was a hack and nobody's talking about it. I don't know, then I guess it's not important. They're leading me. I don't want to filter these people. And the other thing is, I want a bigger picture. Now, I understand you have this focus, but I fear that focus on just looking at the coins and investments leads to that trader mentality. Whereas really, when you think about, what am I doing here? Why am I investing in Ethereum? In crypto, it's based on my understanding of the world, right? Understanding finance, understanding human nature, psychology. Elon Musk is doing, what's going on with Starlink and that satellite system. These things do matter. I think it's important to have a broad view of the whole world and just not this narrow view that I choose that's only what's going on with the investments that I've decided I like. It's too, a lot of my
Okay.
philosophy comes from
Okay.
the base principle is I'm a moron, right? So, and I say that lovingly to myself and all of my followers. We're all a bunch of idiots. Let's face it, right? Everyone's trying to pretend they're smart. So so I don't want to step on their toes. And
Yeah,
yeah,
basically,
and
I
at risk
understand what
of
you are
getting
talking
in
about.
your own echo chamber. So that's, yeah.
I understand what you are talking about, and yeah, I agree with that. This is logical. That you don't want to be the wisest person in the room, and that's why you are not narrowing your observation of people you believe are wiser than you. But
And I don't have
what
a noise problem. If
but
and yeah,
what do,
I don't mind
right,
Elon
right,
tweeting
right.
out.
But what do I believe also is that these wise people, some of them, created or invested in technology which can make us a little bit wiser or a little bit more efficient. And I'm talking also about Elon Musk, who invested $100 million in OpenAI at the beginning stage. And right now, OpenAI is giving us algorithms, is giving us models of GPT. And I believe that using this is wise thing. And what I also believe that not using it isn't a wise thing.
I find that this Chat GPT, I get it, and I think there'll be a lot of great applications going forward. The way I understand how it works is that it's like it sort of averages words, right? So in other words, like if you were gonna had a bunch of numbers and what's the average number, it totals them and then calculates the average. What ChatGPT does is if you have a topic, it takes all the words and writes a sentence that is sort of the average. And that's great for a lot of things. I think in medical advice, right? There's all these different studies and tests that no doctor could possibly read. It takes all of those and gives you the average of them all. I think that would be extremely valuable. And there's many other applications. However, with investing, this is gonna tell you to buy the S&P 500 ETF. I mean,
Not investing, filtering. Not investing.
and with
Filtering.
the I just and in my experience with Chat GPT is some things that are like if it's whatever, turn this into a poem. I tried doing that with videos. Didn't get any viewers, but it did make a poem for me. It could do some things, but anything that is, I'm very into like, what is nobody saying? I want to talk about stuff that nobody's talking about. ChatGPT is of no help, and investing, the best investments are the ones that nobody is in, right? So
how to get in such investments?
or that
How
nobody
to get
likes. Like
info?
when Tesla, one of my, I don't not usually a stock guy, but I remember in 2000, whatever, I think it was 2019, whatever. Or maybe it was 20, right before Tesla had that huge run. He did that 420 tweet, and it was like an onslaught of there's no demand for the Tesla. They can't make the Tesla, and Elon should go to jail. He's the worst. And nobody's talking about how they're doing great with batteries. And I'm like, I'm looking at the facts, and I'm like, no, this thing is awesome. And it was really hard to hold, mostly emotionally, because literally people who I do really respect, it was just like, oh, I think I can go to a zero. And I'm like, am I fucking crazy here? And I had a Tesla. I'm like, this is the greatest car. Anyways, had I gone to Chat GPT and it was current information, it would have given me, they might have said, yeah, but it would have given me the average, which was more than 50% negative. And I don't think that would have given me the conviction to hold, let alone buy more when it had just fallen another, it had a nice dump right before the rise. And so I don't think ChatGPT is good for finding those unique things that nobody agrees with. It's sort of counterintuitive. I think
Right.
it's good for pulling out the average.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Probably yes. And and because of that, having on average good results.
Listen, averaging words is there will be many great valuable things, I think, but investing is the best investments are contrary, not only to the average, but it's when 80% of the people have it. I remember, because I remember it's like emotionally difficult. In 2019, holding crypto, I mean, it was like people were mad at me. People were making fun of me. Same thing with Tesla. It's like on TV, is like, he's should go to jail. And I'm like, this guy's great. Like, it's very difficult. Fortunately, I'm not that social these days, so I don't have to deal with that, but it's very hard to do, So I don't know. I don't remember what you just said, but where I was going with that.
You
But
know, the
that,
conversation is pretty interesting, and I really respect your point of view. And I believe that right now we are talking over 1 hour, so
yeah.
maybe it's a time for us to finish this conversation right here. But we can do more, maybe on a different
Can I
channels.
answer two quick questions if they're still listening? A couple
Yeah,
people
we
from my
can.
channel.
Yeah, we can, of
Um,
course.
they had two quick questions. Which coins will do well in the next run? You own the leaders. So what happens in each cycle at the top of the cycle? I don't like to get into new things in the bull run. And the things that are fake, when everything crashes, they never come back. But if it's real, it'll run in the next one. So all the ones I hold, I mean, these are leaders, Chainlink, all these, that when everything goes up, those will go up. So hold the leaders and everything will run when everything runs. But if it doesn't really exist anymore, the shit coins from 2017 never made it back to their old highs in 2021. They went up, but they didn't go up as much. Other question, someone, when do you stop DCA buying? You should have your target portfolio of what you want to have, right? What percent of your net worth in crypto? What percent of the crypto is in ETH and is in these tokens? You have your targets and you keep DCA buying until you get there. But once this thing starts running, once if ETH goes through 3,000 with authority, or Bitcoin crosses 100 with authority, and you're not done buying, I would just stop. Sorry. At this point, if you don't get there, so. But I don't wait for it to go. Just every month you got plan. If you have X amount of money right now, I divide it up by 3 or 4 months. Buy each month for 3 or 4, and try to be set soon here. We're at the end of the boring low, but time it up. We could still have another 50% drop. And if Matic is not new, I don't want just new. Okay, Rafe, this guy, he loves asking a million questions. And then finally, to your viewers, if anyone cares, DaveLevine.com is me. You can find all my. That's a link tree for my YouTube. I got Twitter. I got a Discord, and we have lots of fun. And I mostly just yell and scream like I'm doing now. And I don't do this for money. I just do it because it's fun. And in 2021, I made one video every day, and then now I just traveled. I didn't make a video at all. Occasionally, I do, and whatever. But please follow, like, subscribe, send love.
Yeah, of course. I will show your website right now and your Twitter, so viewers can remember this. So yeah, again, Dave Levine. This is a Twitter, Dave Levine .0com, and the website looks like this, davelevine.com.
Yes.
Nice. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out. And again, I appreciate that you're working hard. You're open to talk to people. You're messaging me out of the blue, and then we were trying to make a time to have a thing, and you're like, how about right now? Okay. I mean, that's the attitude you need to have success. As long as we're all make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you learn from them. But having that go get it attitude is what brings you, eventually the riches. You need that at least. And a lot of people don't have that part. So I really appreciate you have that attitude. I think it's great.
Nice. Yeah, let's keep in touch. Let's stay in touch.
Okay.
So
Great.
again, to our viewers, see ya and have a great day. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, guys.